This video is part 6 of Plato theory. In this, we will deal with the theory of philosopher king and view on law. So, for no law or ordinance is mightier than knowledge. Here, he Plato gave the importance to knowledge, and who is having knowledge? Ultimately, in his state, ideal state, philosopher king is having knowledge. So, he's giving a too much support or too much power to the philosopher king because he is having knowledge. So he said that for no law or ordinance means neither law nor ordinance is mightier than knowledge, means knowledge is supreme, then law or ordinance will come. So Plato, philosopher king, is a person in whom reason dominate the passion. Means Plato's philosopher king is a person in whom reason dominate the passion, means in whom reason, his mental ability is more powerful. And philosopher king has no lust for power, means he is not having a lust or greed for power. Philosopher king can be either a man or a woman. So that's why he said, that's why all said the say that Plato was a first feminist, because he's giving men women women also opportunity to become a philosopher king. So philosopher king can be either a man or a woman. Plato gave unlimited power to philosopher king. He said that the ruler should neither be accountable to public opinion nor bound by any written law. Means he's giving unlimited power, not accountable to the people opinion or not bound to written any law, means they are not bound to follow any written law. In words of Plato, no law or ordinance is mightier than the knowledge of philosopher king. Plato asserted that it would be foolish to bind the hands of the philosopher king with written law. It like an expert physician who is bound to write prescription based on medical textbook. Means philosopher king is free to give their opinion and anything what they want with their own ability of knowledge or reason. So there is a no law or nothing which will bind the hand of Plato. So there is a, due to this, many philosophers like Aristotle or others philosopher also criticizes the Plato for this. And later he gives some restriction to the power of philosopher king. So what are the restriction on the power of philosopher king? So Plato in his later stage wrote his two other work, namely the law and the statements. We had learned that the first book is the justice, means justice, the republic. In the republic, justice is mentioned, the title. And second is the law and the statements. So this is a book in which he gives some restriction to the philosopher king. So certain restriction on the power of philosopher king. Philosopher king at no point in time can change the constitution of the state. Means if there was a written law, then philosopher king not have the ability or not have the power to change it. Means this is after the restriction which he added in his book, the law. And Plato also says that at any cost, philosopher king cannot alter the social stratification and scheme of education. Means after giving restriction to the philosopher king, he gave three restrictions. That first one is Plato, philosopher king, not able to change the law which was law of the state which was mentioned. And he was also not able to change the social stratification, means that a gold person or copper or silver person. And he is also not able to change the scheme of education of Plato, means there is five stages of education. So he is not able to change in these three things. So these are the restriction of Plato on the philosopher king. And let's see the critical evolution by the various philosopher for the Plato. So Karl Popper in his book Open Society and Its Enemy named Plato as one of the enemy of the open society. Here open society indicate democracy, and we learned from the starting that Plato is a great critic of democracy because Plato grants absolute power to one person and this can lead to tyrannical rule. And Plato grant absolute power to one person and this led to tyrannical rule. So Aristotle says rule of law is better than rule by one as law represents collective wisdom. And he says that rule of law is better means rule of one person is better than the rule of group or collective wisdom. So this is the critical evaluation. However, for Aristotle, one should not sacrifice good for the sake of best because it is unachievable. Aristotle said that one should not sacrifice good for the sake of best because best is unachievable. Plato himself modified his view in the light of the criticism of Aristotle in his book The Law. Plato reestablished the rule of law, hence, it is said that Aristotle's ideal state means rule of law is Plato's second best state. Sabine says that it is said that Aristotle ideal state is Plato's second book is best state means after refining or after adding restriction second part of Plato book is the first part of Aristotle ideal state means what Aristotle has suggested to change Plato had changed all the things in his book and given one new book. So the Aristotle ideal state, what is this? This is a Plato second best state. So these these are the thing related to it. And in next video we will see the important quotes of Plato.